Well, what's up, man and sister? It's good to see you all. Happy Saturday. Um, we are picking back up on our first book of the year, winning with Tim S. Grover, The Unforgiving Race to Greatness. We had a great start of a discussion last week covering the introduction in chapter one. The recording for part one is definitely up. I believe Mikhail might have put up the second part yesterday. I will double check on that. But the second part to last week will be posted as well.
For the end
Um,
of book.
at the end of book club, I think is what he said. But
Ah,
that being said, we'll make sure this one gets posted before the end of the day so that those who want to tune in or want to rewatch the discussion have the ability to do so. But yeah, I'm excited to tune in. We're covering chapters two, three, and four today. Chapter two is, let me just read the chapters to you guys. The language of winning, and then it goes into the winning 13, which honestly kicks things off with winning makes you different and different scares people. And then the last chapter we're covering is winning wages war on the battlefield in your mind. So I know Roshizi, I don't know if you saw the post of the book details when it went into the app or not, but the details are definitely there. You can choose to buy the book or there's a free Audible for a 30-day trial there as well. If you want to kick us off, bro. If not, then I can take it up to you.
Wait, you want me to kick off?
If you can, if not, bro, I can kick it
Oh,
off.
yeah,
No
yeah,
worries.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I got you, bro. I'm sorry
Yeah.
about that.
No, no, you're no worries, man. Good
I was
morning.
in the background. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So we're going over two through four.
Yeah, yeah. So the language of winning, and then after that, it's winning makes you different and different scares people, and then winning wages war on the battlefield in your mind.
Let's see. Winning makes you different, scares people. I thought we did that one last week. So
Um, maybe I'm
I
tripping.
thought we I thought we were
Yes,
on
yes. I
wages.
apologize. I apologize. We did,
Okay,
we did, we did the chase and the language of winning. My apologies.
okay,
Um,
cool. Yeah, we're on wages, war on the battlefield in your mind, the ultimate gamble of yourself, and isn't heartless, but you'll use your heart less. Those I thought yeah, those should be the ones we're going over today.
Okay. I guess I misunderstood because I thought based on like the table of context are a little different,
Yeah,
y'all.
because
Yeah.
everything's chapter
So
one, baby.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So my understanding was that the introduction was the chase and chapter one was the language of winning. So that's all I had read. And then this
Mm,
week I had the intention of pages 23 through 75. So it was like about 40 some or a little under 40 pages, like 30 something pages. But yeah, winning makes you different and different scares people. We talked about it a little bit last week, but we can recover it. And then winning wages war on the battlefield in your mind, and winning is the ultimate gamble on yourself. Moving forward,
okay,
I set up the book club chapters, bro, for 3 chapters a week. So
okay,
you're kind of a chapter ahead. So my apologies. I guess I could have
yeah.
been.
I just thought, yeah, I just thought the language of winning. I thought the chase, the language of winning, and the winning 13, like that was all three chapters. That's how I took it as. And then
Mm,
the next three, you know what I'm saying, which would be Wages of War, Ultimate Gamble, and Isn't Heartless is the next three. So that would be three and then three.
okay. Well, this is interesting.
You see what I mean? Because
MS
like,
Grover, bro. Okay. Yeah, so here's what I think. Here's what I think we should cover today, and then we'll move forward with clarity
okay,
about the rest. I think it should be the winning makes you different and different scares people. Winning
okay,
wages war on the battlefield, and winning is the ultimate gamble of yourself. So I am, yeah. I'm right on pace,
Okay.
but you're a chapter ahead.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
sounds good. Well,
Okay.
we can do that then.
Okay,
I'll
bet.
start with all right, so we'll do winning makes you different and different scares people. Okay, so let's go there.
Thanks for talking that through with me.
Yeah, all good. Because I was like, I thought that was three. Let's see. So we went over. So with the winning that makes you different, on page 32, something that stood out to me on that one, just to go over it again. Some will excel above and beyond because they advance their skills and that they're thinking. That's the difference between learning what is handed to you and understanding how to build on that. So as we have our business, all right, and we're told like little things. Okay, we can do this, we can do that, and this is how we're gonna run the play. But what truly excels you as a person is how you add on to it in your own thinking, right? You can get the formula for whatever, but until you start to actually add on to it and see what your own mind can create in things, you're only going to be subpar continuously, meaning you're only going to be able to bring to the table what's already at the table, right? So like if there is potatoes and eggs, you know what I'm saying, ham at the table, and you decide that you're going to bring potatoes, eggs, and ham to the table, it's just going to add literally to the same thing, right? Somebody has to bring some type of meat. Somebody has to bring some type of veggie. Somebody like being able to consistently add on to what's already been put at the table is what's going to make you different, right? And that's what's going to help you stand out, especially in anything in life, right? So I thought that was very important because when it requires you to learn and then question what you learn and then learn more. So you have to be willing to challenge what you've been taught and learn it again from a different perspective. This is why I always love when Marcus and Mikhail always tell me, like, why don't you look at it from this angle? Why don't you look at it from this angle? Because I was very like, and I don't know if it was like the military in me or stuff like that, but like whenever something was getting told like how to do it, that's it. You did it exactly like that because one, you didn't want to get in trouble. Two, you didn't want to like step on somebody's toes. But like as you're in this life, it's okay to get uncomfortable. It's okay to like step on someone's toes because it's not necessarily that. Like as long as you do it in a way that's tactful, I believe it's going to be okay because you're trying to actually grow with your team, you know what I'm saying? Not just be a leech on the team. And that's like just learning the difference in it is going to be all the difference, right? So that's a key takeaway that I took away from that. What's up, Chad? Are you good? And then moving forward, wages were on the battlefield in your mind. So this one right here, I really liked. All right. So it's literally mental warfare continuously, right? Or you could look at it spiritually, mentally, all of it, right? Your mind literally creates hesitation. Your mind will psych you out more than anybody else would, right? It creates fear, doubt. You can have empathy in wrong places, meaning you really want to see somebody else win with you, but like they're not doing the same things that you're trying to do and they're not pushing the same way. So you have these empathetic beliefs for that person, but like it's kind of like you're holding on to that rope of playing tug of war and you're noticing that it's hurting yourself more, you know what I'm saying, by holding on. And then you create this guilt and then like you're overthinking and you're doing all this stuff like it's a constant battlefield, right? And then it teaches you like if you don't dominate your own thoughts, someone else will dominate them for you, meaning someone's going to continuously tell you how to think, tell you that, oh, this is your steps that you need to be taking to win, right? And then you realize that like winning really isn't like the enemy isn't other people, it's like yourself, like your own internal dialogue is your enemy, right? And then this is why winning looks heartless, right? It's because it refuses to emotionally negotiate when action is required, right? Mental clarity beats morale, comfort, and matters that most. So I'm going to go back to this. Refuses to emotionally negotiate when action is required. There is a lot of times that we're too tired to do something and your emotions are out of whack. You don't feel like doing it. You're tired. you're sleepy, you just got done reading this book, now you got to read this. Because there's been times this week where I was just like, dang, I got a lot of chapters I got to read. But then, like, at the same time, I'm like, I'm also reading the Bible, I'm also reading the Word. Then
Yeah.
I'm also reading, like, everything that's being thrown in the chats. I'm reading, like, I'm constantly reading, and my eyes are tired. Like it gets exhausting, and then you
Hey,
have to
little side note,
constantly.
bro. You gotta invest in some blue light glasses, player.
Well, I mean,
Maybe
I
help
don't
me
need
with
blue lights.
my headaches.
Yeah, yeah, but like it's a constant fight of like whether or not you're gonna do it right, and it's just, are you trying to better yourself, or are you gonna just are you gonna be mediocre, right? Because a lot of people could just be like, oh, you do have a lot on your plate. Oh, it's okay, just slow down a little bit. Those are losers. I'm sorry to say it, but those are losers. Those are the people that are not trying to push you a little further. They're like, yes, it's hard. I like being around people that know it's hard, but they are also doing the same thing as me. That's why you are here. You see what I mean? Yeah, you are spending time in your word, you're reading books, you're personally developing, you're not taking no for an answer. You know what I mean? Those are the people that I love to be around, because those are the people that are like me, right? So that's how I took chapter, I don't know if we want to call it chapter two, chapter one, but that's the wages war on the battlefield in your mind. That was the biggest
Chapter three,
that I
chapter
took from
three.
it. All right, so going on to the last one, right? The ultimate gamble on yourself. That's where we're gonna pretty much cut it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Winning is betting on you. So let's see. Right. Ultimate gamble on yourself. I like highlighted a little spot, bro. I was like, I'm highlighting all these good stuff, but I starred the ones that I wanted to talk about. Let me see. Okay, right here it says very few people are able or willing to bet on themselves. They become the assistant manager of their own lives, waiting for directions and approval from some higher authority because they don't feel confident enough to make decisions or take action on their own. Confidence is the ultimate drug, and winning is the dealer. That is crazy. Everybody wants to talk about it's your life when you're doing the wrong thing. Oh, don't tell me how to live my life. It's my life. But nobody wants to take control over their life to do the right thing.
That's a bar,
That
Jason.
that's how I took it for real, because it hit me in my
Yeah.
chest. Like I was just like, dang, whenever I do something wrong, or I snap or do, I'm like, bro, stop trying to tell me what to do. Like, bro, I'm grown. Like that's how I sometimes react. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, hold up, that I did wrong, but I'm not trying to accept, what I'm saying, being a manager in my life for doing the things right. Like I'm over here stepping back, like, oh, maybe I could do it, or let me wait for someone else to tell me to do that, but I don't wait for anybody to tell me to do something wrong. And it is crazy. It's like a total mind switch, right? I love that. And it says, but there's no prescription for it. No one can give it to you. Either you feel it deep in your gut and you bring it out, or you don't. That's what winning is. No one can truly tell you how to win. There's no key to success. You have a vision on your heart that was written by God, and it's whether or not you're going to go get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely do, bro.
And then another portion of the book is confidence is feeling as low as you ever felt in your life, and knowing you'll recover stronger than you were before. It's hearing others tell you everything is fine, you're perfect just the way you are, and knowing they're wrong and you still have work to do. There's been many times where I've been told by my family that, like, you should be grateful, you should be happy with the things that you have already, because I mean, granted, yes, I am very grateful. I always wake up with the spirit of gratitude, and I'm very thankful for everything that I have, because a lot of things that I have I prayed for years ago. So I wake up and I have gratitude. But then there's this aching sensation that I consistently have, that, like, it's not that I want more, but I need to do more. And it's not just necessarily for me, but it's for others. Like, to truly show that these blessings that God given me, they're not little, but in his eyes, they're very small. And for me to bring out truly what God can do in someone's life, I need to dig deep. I need to not just settle. just because I've gotten things, my goals and aspirations just need to get bigger. That's why when people tell me these certain things like, "Oh, you're good, you have this, you have that," I'm like, it doesn't matter. Who I become is what I'm going for. You know what I mean? It's not what I have, but what I can take my mental space and what I can create. Because we're creators. That's what we are. You know what I'm saying? We're not just these people that take and take. I don't want to be just a consumer. I want to be a producer of many things. So it says like there's no refunds. There is no refunds in this game that we call life. There is none. There is no fairness in anything that we're doing. You know what I mean? There you don't get a payout for being sympathetic. There's no safety net, meaning every single thing that you're gonna do, it's gonna have some type of pro and con to it. And then whether you're willing to accept that pro and con, it's like a risk or reward when you're trading. You can create a safety net. That would be a smart thing to do, is to create a safety net. But the world doesn't. How do I put this? The world doesn't reward effort, intention, or struggle. The world doesn't care about that, and winning sure does not care about that.
Yeah.
You know what winning does? Winning gives you results when you earn it. That's why there's such thing as a championship trophy. Like it talks about when MJ and Kobe, how they won these trophies. They never talk about how these other teams that were in the playoffs really going against them. Even though they were great players, they'll beat us all day on the court.
Yeah.
But nobody talks about them because they weren't rewarded. They didn't have the results that actually mattered. If you lose, no one cares why. No one cares why you lose. Even when we're doing this business, no one's gonna care why you lose. No one's gonna care why you couldn't pay your bills. They're gonna look at you a certain way that like you could have done more. And there's gonna be a little deeper side of you, and then you're gonna think back and you're like, you know what? They're probably right. I could have done more. I could have got up earlier. I could have did this. I could have taken an extra shift. I could have like stopped complaining about this. I could have read that book. I could have been ready for book club. You know what I mean? So like ultimately the system's in place, so you can't blame the system. We're all reading the same thing, so you can't say that there's not fairness. And then everybody has circumstances in life, so you can't blame circumstances. If it didn't work for you, maybe you should learn how to take the foundation, move it around, and figure out a way to make it work for you. Everybody learns differently. I understand that. Everybody learns at their own pace. I understand that. But everybody does learn and everybody can learn. It's figuring out which way is going to work for you, right? That's the gamble. Total ownership with zero guarantees. That's what I took from these three chapters that I read. And man, I think that's why I'm ahead because I couldn't stop reading it.
No,
For
yeah.
real.
No, bro, I appreciate your take on it. Imani, just to catch you up, we were talking about at the very beginning how the table of contents in the book is kind of a little confusing. So, just because it doesn't say like chapter one, two, three, and four, it literally says like winning number one, winning number one, winning number one. It's like the winning 13 in the table of contents after the introduction of the chase in chapter one, the language of winning. So we're covering today winning makes you different and different scares you. Winning wages war on the battlefield of your mind. And then, as Jason just talked about, winning is the ultimate gamble on yourself. If anything was confusing between chapters two through four, then it's okay. I'm just trying to keep you on the same note. I know, Rosizi, you're joining in this week and you weren't here for last week. But as we continue moving forward, y'all just take note that chapter four is winning is the ultimate gamble. So when we read, I believe it's five, six, and seven for next week, it'll be, and I'll say it again at the end of the call, but it'll be after the ultimate gamble on yourself. But yeah, Imani, would you like to share or would you like me to go? Up to you.
I have questions.
You have questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's start over. You said chapter three was what?
Okay, chapter two, three, and four, what we're covering today. Chapter two is winning makes you different and different scares people. And then chapter three is winning wages war on the battlefield in your mind. And then chapter four is winning is the ultimate gamble.
Mm, mm, mm. That sucks in a good way. I mean, not really for me right now because I have the audio for this one. So
Mm.
my chapter three is like this secret to winning is, oh my God, I don't even know now. Okay, and then you said, okay, I swear to you, this is the last time. Do the chapters one more time so I can try to like figure
Okay.
this.
No worries. So the chase is the introduction, and then chapter one is the language of winning.
Okay. But we're
So
reading chapters. I thought we were reading chapters.
two, three, and four.
Yeah, two, three, and four.
So the winning the winning 13 is like a subtitle on the table of contents, but it talks about the 13 winnings and he titles each chapter number one winning. So it's a little confusing. But chapter two is winning makes you different and different scares people. Chapter three is winning wages war in the battlefield of your mind. And chapter four is winning is the ultimate gamble on yourself.
Because I think I thought I had that for chapter five. I am okay. Well, okay. I'm just going to not go and for now and just keep listening so I can get my
Where you're
fight.
at. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, no
for
worries.
real.
It's okay. Um, but yeah, just for clarity, like did you hear the chapter Ultimate Gamble on yourself, or you were waiting until next week for that one?
I was actually in the middle. I didn't finish that one, but I have that as chapter five. That's why.
Okay. Well, you're not
So,
behind. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you when you finish that chapter, you're right on pace because that's chapter four for us.
so then next week we're doing,
Next week we're doing winning isn't heartless, but you'll use your heart less.
oh,
That's a fire title, by the way.
yeah, I definitely,
It's literally wild. Okay, cool.
okay.
You good? You good though? You feel a little more comfortable about where we're at?
No,
Okay.
it's all
Well,
good. Just keep going.
before we hop off, we'll make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, I
But
just need to like let everything merge. What you're saying, what I'm understanding, it's just there's gonna be a link and then I'm gonna be right there. Don't worry about me.
okay, no worries. No, I will not worry about you. You got this. So I'll kind of work backward because I really liked what Jason said. So from chapter four, winning is the ultimate gamble on yourself, total ownership with zero guarantees. I think there's a level of responsibility that you have to take in your own life, right? He says, let me find it here. It was no different for Kobe, right? Because he says winning is an addiction like none other, and once it shows you some unforgiving love, you'll crave that love forever. It was no different for Kobe. Everything he did was about his massive belief in himself, starting with his decision, right? And then he talks about what that decision was. But I highlighted it up to starting with his decision. Like at the end of the day, you have to decide, and then you have to build the level of belief in yourself to go and execute on the decision, right? And that decision doesn't come with guarantees. I think about it made me think of have y'all seen that? I believe it was from Inception, but it's Leonardo DiCaprio and he's having a conversation with this Asian guy in the helicopter and like his friend. And his friend's like, "Come on, let's go." And he's like, "Hold on, wait." And he turns back to the Asian guy in the helicopter. He was like, "I need a guarantee that I'm going to win. Like, can you give me that?" And he was like, "Can you give me the ability to win?" The Asian guy goes, I don't come with the guarantee, but I can. Like he's like, I need a guarantee that you can deliver. He's like, I can't give a guarantee, but I can. Meaning like there's no certainty behind the decision other than your faith and belief in your ability to execute on the decision. right? Because we can't control what may or may not happen that's out of our control in the future. But what we can control is what we do in the present moment. And I think that's what he highlights in both MJ and Kobe's resemblance and why they were considered some of the greatest winners in basketball and the people that he's trained because they were so hyper zoned in on the right now that they were able to in tandem take on what was unexpected. And that kind of ties me into chapter 3, and I'll get to that in here in a second. But I really wanted to touch on that. It's really about, he says, starting with the decision and having a massive belief in yourself. And that's how you're able to bet on you, right? And he goes, very few people are able or willing to bet on themselves. They become the assistant manager of their own lives, waiting for directions and approval from some higher authority because they don't feel confident enough to make decisions and take action on their own. Just as Jason covered, that's literally what I had highlighted myself because confidence is required. And in order to have confidence, you've got to be willing to first build the small wins that lead to the bigger wins and lead to you ultimately winning, right? Because it reminded me of The Power of One More by Ed Milet. We read that as a book club. It was a few years back, so Imani, I don't think you read that one with us, but The Power of One More, and he really just talks about like go one more, and actively the way you build confidence is building up the small dubs, right? The way you get to the larger dubs is an accumulation of the smaller dubs, and those wins literally add up and build you and your ability to follow through on what you said you're going to do long after the feeling passes when you said you were going to do it. Right? That's where discipline takes place and that's where you can be consistent. Um, he says, we all start out confident. Think about babies taking their first steps, fall down, get up, fall down, laugh, cry, get up, fall down, and they keep going. And I love that. I'm like, dude, why y'all think Jesus tells us to have childlike faith? Like literally, babies show us that actual ability to continuously take steps forward, to learn new things, to feed into the curiosity of their life. And like it's like one of the biggest things that I feel like a lot of parents sometimes aim to like be too careful with their children, but like it's how we learn, right? Like I learned how to ride my bike falling on my bike while I was trying to pedal without any training wheels multiple times. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to literally grow in accountability by owning up to my mistakes and just talking to people transparently and honestly about that. But that's difficult to do unless you have a willingness to learn new things. And I think it like ties right in motion with what he's expressing in terms of like the way that you build the confidence is if you tap into that childlike faith, right? The children have faith to learn and to walk and to run. I just like I look at my nieces and my nephews and I just see like their exuberant joy for life and how they're like literally trying to figure out the world around them. And then also like their level of confidence that they have to do new things. Like my oldest niece, yo, she's in tumbling and she be outside with the somersaults and I'm like, whoa, you're out here flipping. Like what are you doing? You're 7 years old. And it freaks me out sometimes because I'm like, bro, don't hurt yourself. But I'm also like, dude, she's doing this. And when she does mess up, she gets up and she does it again. And it's really cool because, like, that's what I feel like is a lost art as people try to be reasonable and secure in the things that they do. And he puts in all caps, no, don't be careful. Like, don't be careful at all. Allow them to not learn about hesitation and fear. Allow them to instead like literally dive into believing that they're good enough in some way. And I'm like, bro, that's fire. I was like, dude, I don't know if he talked about his kids. I think he has children, but I feel like that's a lesson you learn as a parent. And I'm not even a parent yet. I just like help raise my siblings and my nieces and nephews. So I look forward to having kids. It made me excited to have like a child one day, just because I know I'm going to learn so much from them as I observe them and I watch them as well. Just as much as I've learned from just my nieces and nephews. Okay, so last thing I wanted to cover in this last chapter 4. On page 71, he says, confidence lets you hear the voices around you and in your own head without responding or reacting. You can hear them without listening to a single word. Confidence gives you the grit to stand in the shadow of those who are more powerful than you and still retain your power. Every one of my clients was wealthier and more famous than I, and I had the power to terminate our relationship at any time. I was like, bro, that's fire. He goes, but I never let that influence how I trained them and how I approached our relationship. And I never forgot why I was there to deliver results that no one else could produce for them. That was my power, and I never gave it up. Confidence is your ticket to freedom, your escape route for everything that is holding you back. Bad decisions, bad situations, the people and issues that stand between you and what you want. Never let anyone take that from you. Even when they control the situation, they don't control you and they can't control you. And I literally speak this in a spiritual sense to the enemy because as a human being, I've been very transparent with my guy Jason as well. Like when I have fallen to sin or I've fallen in the ways in which I told myself I was gonna walk, I give permission to the enemy to have a stronghold in my life. Meaning like, okay, I messed up. And I have learned to identify where the emotional lies of how I feel because of my mistake lead me to a false identity of shame. And I know shame is something that keeps me away from my true identity that I believe to be renewed in Christ. This is my spirituality and my faith, and has literally broken me free from this habitual cycle of staying in this low sense of doing the things that keep me from where I know I want to be, and in terms of the book, from winning, right? So like when I see this aspect, I tell the enemy like, no, you don't control me, right? You may form weapons and they might cut me from time to time, but it will not prosper. That's what the Bible tells me. You know what I'm saying? I know that my God does not leave me nor forsake me, and I understand that I am given favor because I believe in Jesus Christ. I understand that I'm given a new beginning every single morning, and it doesn't matter what lies my emotions are trying to tell me or what lies I believe the enemy is trying to whisper in my ear. I understand what the truth is, and I'm able to operate in that, and I take confidence in that because I have confidence of my identity rather than in my shame, right? My identity is in Christ, not in my mistakes. I make mistakes because I'm a human being, and that's literally why I need Christ. Like, I cannot overcome my transgressions or my false thought processes. I cannot overcome my negative habits and my negative thinking without the word of God. I've tried to do that on my own, and every time I literally fall back in the same cycle, and I got really tired of that cycle, and I'm like, yo, I will not, and I shall not. And I tell my enemies, like, you don't control me. You know what I'm saying? And even in situations where I've learned, we're gonna read a book later on in this year called 360 Leadership, and it's literally having ownership and understanding that you can lead in any position that you're at. It's identifying and being aware of where you're at and still operating in the truth of the leader that you are currently and the leader that you are building up to be. Right? I've been in situations where I'm not quote unquote respected or appreciated or valued, and that still doesn't determine my ability to do the things that I can control. It used to, like it genuinely did. But when I read this, right, and I understand, like, yo, confidence can come from a multitude of things, but confident people don't live in the past. They remember what happened and they don't let it affect their ability to move forward. Quit playing with Tim S. Grover. I was like, yo, yes, sir, bro. Like, so many people operate in their thoughts, right? Because it's truth. You are what you think about. And I guess I'm gonna flip a little bit, go into chapter 2. He specifically states, which is winning wages more on the battlefield of your mind. Nope, I lied. Chapter 2, what makes you different? Hold on, I have it highlighted, y'all. Sorry, I was trying to make it flow. I need little post-it notes. I know it's on this page. He talks about your actions come from your thoughts, period. Your actions come from your thoughts. I don't know where it's highlighted at, but because your actions come from your thoughts, and I've known this to be true, I've taught this to multiple people, right? Your beliefs shape your attitude, and or excuse me, your thoughts shape your beliefs shape your attitude shapes your emotions and influence how you feel. and then your emotions shape your actions, and what you do repeatedly becomes your habits, right? So if you want to change your habits, you got to identify the thoughts that are leading to the actions you currently have, and then you've got to exchange the thoughts for thoughts that are going to lead to the result that you desire, the outcome that you're aiming for. And um, what I really loved about that aspect is knowing that if you know that it's going to require you to learn, question what you learn, and learn more, as Jason touched on, then there's a never ending process of figuring it out. That was the biggest part for me in chapter two. Figure it out. No one really cares. Just figure it out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit is, excuse my language, book club and recording, but shit is shitty. It is what it is. Figure it out. You've got to be able to, like, literally go and understand that a solution can be found. And winning demands that you look past the right way. And he says, and create your own way. Sometimes what other people are telling you to do or what has been proven might not be the path that God is asking you to trailblaze or figure out and create and develop and nurture and teach the other people. Like maybe you're born for this period of time to go and develop and do something that hasn't been done before. Right? He goes, put your craziness to work, innovate, don't imitate. I did a whole value session one time on this. But innovate, don't imitate, and above all, stop listening to everyone who tells you what to think. If they knew, they'd all be winners. And the fact of the matter is, winning does not negotiate. And he says that he likes to work with people that get back in line and figure it out. It doesn't matter how far you fall from the line, doesn't matter how bad you make a mistake. If you utilize that confidence to get back up and do the things, to learn, to improve, to innovate, create, nurture, and do, to move forward, you will literally figure it out. I've seen it time and time again. And like I'm currently in a like very transparently, I'm currently in a situation where I didn't think I'd find myself again, but I'm here where I've got a lot of financial responsibilities and not the same amount in my bank account to cover it. And it's frustrating because I've been working really hard and diligent and disciplined and consistent, but I'm understanding that like my dependence needs to be on God more than anything else. And every time it has been that way, He's literally delivered for me in a way that only He can. Like verbatim. I can't make that up. Is why I was able to go to Dubai with less than $500 in my bank account and still be able to have an amazing time, have an actual one in a lifetime dream life experience, and grow in my partnership and my intentionality with the people that I'm developing a platform with, and create a sense of belief in the people around me that you can literally do anything you put your mind to if you operate in faith. And like I see that and I recognize that, and in the midst of it, I take confidence in the real, like it's wild how like we plan these books and like they're literally right on time and when you need them. It's kind of wild. Like Amani was helping us plan out the books for this year, and we were talking about how like somehow the books that we plan out months in advance are literally right when we need them and say exactly what it is that we are looking for to have the tweak or do the thing that gets us to the next level. So like I was just grateful for it because I'm like, all right, bet I'm here, right? And as he talked about um on the confidence portion, right, is don't let it confident people don't live in the past. Okay, you mess up, identify it, you see what it is. They remember what happened, but they don't let it affect their ability to move forward. I thought that tied right into the chapter two, where he was literally letting you know, like, bro, you got to move forward. You've got to be willing to figure it out. And there is a solution, but you've got to detach yourself from the result and fall in love with the process, and the desired outcome will come because you're moving forward with an expectancy, right? I talk about it having like I'm expectant with no expectations. I know my God will deliver for me and work on my behalf for the things I can't control. That doesn't give me a free pass to be lazy and expect a miracle to fall in my lap. That gives me the ability to move confidently to do what I know needs to be done in the present moment. And I think that's what makes a difference. So going in chapter three, the biggest thing for me was highlighting routine. He says this was about MJ. He goes, his routine allowed him the mental freedom and clarity to focus on one thing. And for him, that was the complexity of the game. He planned for the unpredictable and structured his life to minimize the impact it would have on his performance. Right? He was talking about in a sense of executing plays and his skill set of dribbling, defense, and scoring a basketball. But when we think about our day-to-day lives, think about how many things happen unpredictably and we literally allow it to catch us off guard and we're like thrown for a loop, right? I got to a point in my life where I was like, I'm tired of that part. Like I can it's literally cliches, right? But you can expect the unexpected. Like what you can't plan for probably will occur. So if you have it in your routine to adjust and bounce back accordingly, then there's nothing that's going to keep you or impact your ability to perform and execute on the actions that you've decided to take and that you know need to be done in order to get to where you're going as you move forward. Right? He goes, winning respects your routines and habits, but it thrives on the unpredictable and will keep throwing fastballs high and inside. Sometimes that's your head until it throws the curveball just to see if you can adapt and handle the unexpected. If you can only do things one way, if you can't operate outside your own system, winning gets bored and finds someone else to play with. I was like, oh my gosh, bro, what bars? This is on 53. He then says, a routine may allow you to set a portion of your journey on autopilot, but to get to your ultimate destination, you're going to need to take control over the outcome. And how I received that was this: it's good to have a sense of control and have a sense of every morning I wake up, I do X, Y, and Z. But the purpose is not to maintain the routine. The purpose is to discipline your perspective and your actions, right? Because if you have the right paradigm, then you can be clear in the present moment. I think that's what he's talking about confidence, right? Confidence doesn't look backwards. It's looking forward by focusing on what to do now, right? So my routine allows me to have a sense of clarity so that in the present moment, when something comes unexpectedly, I can operate accordingly. Right? I got to be flexible and fluid to flow with where God is trying to take me. Right? I can set my sail going in one direction, but if the winds start to push me in a different direction, I've got to be able to untie the sail and switch it to go in the correct direction. Right? And I literally, this is such a hard lesson for me to learn in real time because I'm such a stubborn individual. Like I'm like, no, we're going this way and we're doing it this route, and I'm not letting go of how I just planned it. Right? And he literally, I felt that one. Yeah, yeah, I feel it 100%, bro. But he talked about how he would spend hours upon hours creating this master training plan for this athlete. And then in the first 5 minutes, he would recognize that that training plan had to go to trash and he had to start over again. And like sometimes I feel like that's a waste of time. And I've had to shift my paradigm on that and understanding, hey, it is the energy and the effort, the time and the resources that you put into creating said plan. And if you execute the plan and it's not getting the desired result, you've got to go back to square one, not with a starting over from zero, but from starting over with experience. Like you have an ability of understanding of what not just works, but also what doesn't work. I talked about this one time on a value session, and this is what I'll end on as I pass the mic. And I found where it says that action or originates in your thoughts. Winning will pull you in one direction, but your mind will pull you back in another. Um, but this is what I understood, right? It's not about understanding when you've lost and when you've won. It's understanding how you've lost and how you have won, right? If you take free throws for an example, right? Everybody understands what a free throw is. You go to the free throw line, you shoot that thing. Okay, so there's a lot of athletes that will like shoot 100 or 500 at a time, and they'll go based off their percentages. But the professionals, the legends, the experts, whenever they make it, they identify it as a dub and they take note on how it felt. Whenever they miss, they don't mark it as a miss. They also mark how they missed it. Oh, that was too short. Hit the front of the rim. Oh, I put too much on it. Hit the back of the rim. Oh, I didn't hold it correctly. It hit the right or the left of the rim, right? If you identify what didn't go well and you know why it didn't and how it didn't go the way you had thought it would, then you can go back to the drawing board with a sense of clarity of not just what to do, but also what not to do, which I believe is just as important, right? Because if you only account for what to do, then you leave yourself vulnerable to the unpredictable. And instead of being able to adjust as champions do, you catch yourself falling in the wind. And as for me and my household, I serve the Lord. So my feet are planted on a firm foundation, right? And I understand that the winds blow and the rain comes and the ice may form on the roads, but quit playing with me. We're gonna be smooth. That's for the all my Austinites in here. We're about to be snowed in for the next couple of days. But yo, I really am grateful for these three chapters because in a point in season of my life where I found myself in a similar situation that I honestly thought I would not be back in because I had made progress in the correct order. I recognize that life has pullbacks and retracements have to occur. And God is always going to remind us that we need to be more dependent upon Him than we are in our own capabilities to go through and get through or accomplish what we're setting out to do. And if we stay consistent on knowing that winning comes with a guaranteed victory when you do the work, right? This is the last thing I'll say. Faith without works is dead, right? Me, because I have faith, guarantees me a victory in the eternal, but I'm going to be judged on what I did with what I've been given, right? It's not about how many resources you have, it's about how resourceful you were. So, like with what I have, how did you use it? With your relationships, how did you steward it? With the finances, with the abundance or the minute or the limited, what did you do with it? And how did you multiply it? Did you just dig a ground and try to save it and wait for somebody to come back and save you? Or did you go and figure out how to multiply it? Right? Did you go and figure out what it is you need to learn or what you need to refine in your thought process so you can take different actions? Because what you've done to this point has gotten you the results that you've received, or are you going to continue recycling the same thoughts, right? Because we're never really stuck. We just recycle the same thought processes that lead to the same actions that make us feel stuck, right? It's literally impossible. Everything's in emotion, right? Everything's transferred or transformed. Nothing's created nor destroyed. So for you to say you're stuck is a lie. Like universal law. I'm talking about science, not just God at this point. But but like it's a universal law. Nothing is created nor destroyed. It is transferred to transform. So you can't technically be stuck. You're just walking around in circles thinking you're having a forward movement and calling it motion when all you're doing is just recycling the same thoughts. And as I look at myself and where I'm at, I've understood from these three chapters that confidence comes and it allows you to move forward because your focus is in the present moment and what you need to do to go forward. And then secondly, you've got to be able to operate out of a figure it out mindset despite what you have. How resourceful can you be to find a solution? And then as you move forward within that process in the chapter three, you can grow and develop with your sense of confidence and your game plan to correct your routines, to develop on your routines, and always be available to. Well, we're gonna reread the seven spiritual laws, I think, this year. I think that's in the Roto. But the law of detachment, right? Opening yourself up to the endless field of possibilities, of potential, so that as you're going about what you know needs to be done, the solution ultimately comes up and you're able to find it. And I believe that is going to make the difference in this season, for all of us. You know, I've been having conversations with peeps, and I know like as the new year is underway, you know, things are only going to get more difficult, whether it be because of your actions or things out of your control. It's always going to require you to look at your situation and say, cool, let's figure it out, right? I won today. I'm going to lay down, put my head in the pillow, wake up tomorrow and have to get up and do it again. Or damn, today I dropped the ball and I fell underneath the standard I've set for myself. It's probably one of the most character building days I've had in a very long time. Oh well, sucks. I'm gonna put my head on the pillow. I'm gonna thank God for another day. I'm gonna wake up and tomorrow I'm gonna have to do it all over again. So if we stay faithful in that, and like he said, have the confidence, continue to figure it out, use our routines to operate in the now and adjust with the unpredictable. Yo, we gonna win, and it's not over. It's not over until I win. Shout out Les Brown. All right, anyways, I'll shut up now. I love you guys. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. No, but genuinely, I really love these chapters and it helps me in my mental clarity and where I'm at and what I need to do as I move forward. But Imani, you got the floor, girl.
So, chapter two, wages war on the battlefield in your mind.
Chapter
Yeah?
two is
Yeah.
winning makes you different.
No.
No, she said. So look, let
No.
me just like from the beginning,
Okay.
let me repeat this. The chase is the introduction, and
Uh-huh.
the language of winning is chapter one.
Uh-uh. That's not it. What version do you have?
The book.
No, what version of the book do you have? There's no, what's
There's no other
happening?
version. This is the only version.
Okay. Okay. So then winning makes you different is
It's
not
chapter.
chapter one.
No, that's chapter two. It's not
Okay,
a bad
fine.
thing. You're ahead, is what I'm saying. It sounds like you're ahead.
Yeah. Dang it.
It's okay. So chapter two is winning makes you different and different scares people. Chapter three is winning wages war on the battlefield in your mind. And then chapter
Okay.
four is winning is the ultimate gamble on yourself.
What
And
you're
I
going through,
told
Amani,
y'all, bam, there we
what
go.
what you're going through is the same thing I was going through at the very beginning of the call before you got on.
Yeah,
We were
literally,
discussing
literally, me and
I'm
Jason were
that.
sorry,
like,
y'all. Sorry, recording. I'm
no,
just
it's
having y'all
the recording's like, dude, how many times are they gonna be like
anytime. Like,
figuring
is
this
this
out?
girl slow?
Because bro,
I'm
before you were even
God.
here, we had this whole conversation. We are like, dude, where's chapter two? I was like, I thought I
Where is
understood.
it?
Okay,
Because okay, so I have chapter, yeah, I am ahead. So I think I'm only gonna be able to do chapter two and three just because I have chapter two as chapter one. It's okay. It's fine. I'm here. I'm gonna do chapter.
you got this. I believe you
Okay.
can do all the chapters. You're ahead, is what I'm saying.
All right, all right, all right. So
Yeah.
just listen. If I'm off, I'm off. It's gonna be like that for just this call. Okay, so crazy combined with the willingness to take a chance is the secret to winning. Y'all remember that? Y'all, do y'all remember that?
I believe that's yeah, I believe that's chapter two.
Okay, okay, I think okay, yeah, 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 yeah.
Say it
So
again. Say it again.
crazy combined with the willingness to take a chance is the secret to winning.
Okay. Because at the very end of the chapter, he says, put your craziness to work. This is why I think it is in the chapter.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna go with it because I feel like I'm somewhere and that's cool. Okay,
You're
so
in the book.
I'm I'm in here. I got notes, y'all.
Yeah.
Come on. So everyone wanted to be like Mike, but Mike didn't want to be like everybody else. Okay, and
Yeah, you're
we're
in
oh,
there. You're
there
in
we
there.
go. Period. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, so um snaps to that because everybody did. There's even a movie called Like Mike. Everybody want to be like Mike so bad. Y'all remember that movie with Bow Wow?
Bow Wow for
Little
real
he was
with the
little Bow Wow
shoes.
at that point.
I love
Shoes.
that movie.
It's a dude,
That
that's
was
literally
good.
We
That was
I,
playing
good.
basketball.
oh, hey, quit playing, bro. No, literally, y'all, that would be my blockbuster movie every time I'd go. That in Space Jam
Oh my God, that's
on a
precious.
repeat. On a
That's
repeat.
precious. I can see little Marcus just looking at little Bow Wow. Okay, so cool. I mean, look, there's a whole book, I mean, a movie about being like Mike. Michael Jordan is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He's innovative. He's made the deals. He's a businessman. You know, people, I saw a woman yesterday rocking some Jordans. I'm like, look at that legacy always going to be in place. Those shoes have so much like resale value. It's crazy, you know? So how does a man who started off in basketball, didn't he play golf at, I'm just going off Space Jam at
Yeah, it
this
was
point.
baseball and golf. Yep.
Baseball and golf, right? Yeah, exactly. So the key is to be yourself. You're like your ultimate self. Like Jason, you said, fought like God has this vision for you. And honestly, I truly know and believe that God and ourselves have co-created this beautiful life plan that here, look, this is what we're gonna do when I get back on down to earth. Look, I'm gonna be born in this. Let's do this. Let's do this because it's like these visions, you know, you have these conversations with God. And sometimes when you are out in the world, I don't know if y'all have experienced this, but y'all been able to see your purpose like right in front of your eyes, even sometimes when you can't really describe it or it's just a feeling that you get where it's like, yeah, like I'm about to roll with that. I'm about to trust this feeling. I'm trusting the signs that are around me. It's important because he eventually says, I'm skipping ahead in my notes, but he eventually says go towards results, not towards um not towards something. Anyways, okay. So he says knowing how to think versus being told what to think. This goes for innovators, artists, business people, entrepreneurs. All this is the same. Like knowing how to think for yourself rather than being told what to do is a major attribute of a straight winner. I want to think for myself, and I think for myself. There's moments in time where failure, which he constantly brings up, I believe in this chapter, that failures are they're just learning lessons and you can truly learn from them. Mike came to the gym. He was I like as he described it, he said, nobody before Michael Jackson, what's his name? Nobody before Michael Jordan um was in basketball was like doing everyday daily workouts, and he changed that. He came in and made it like being a athlete like this really high tier elite status, to train that hard, training harder than everyone else. Kobe did the same. Training, first one to train, first one to come in, last one to leave. It's that strong power. And it doesn't just go for athletes like he's saying. So then winners don't see the box, using failures as springboards to get to this elite level. Um, they say think outside the box. What box? Ain't no box. My mentality, how I think, there's no limitations. There's nothing that I'm trying to follow in society's rules. I'm making my rules. I'm creating my own path based off of who I am and my own purpose, which is absolutely powerful. Um, he also starts talking about if you don't know how to think, you'll just keep pivoting, changing direction without working towards anything. I get that. Life will hit you real hard. Life comes out of nowhere. You'll have a plan. A person could have a plan and plan and plan, and then bam, something just it literally hits you out of nowhere. Like I've literally been hit out of nowhere, man. Like, and rocked my whole existence, my whole life changed forever off of just a car accident or just a family member dying or just a random stranger trying to attack you in the street. That hasn't happened. Never mind. But yeah, like there are these moments that can have you like have to have you pivot. Hey, a pivot is a pivot. As long as you're pivoting in the direction that you need to be going in rather than mindlessly going wherever is available. That's, man. So, just a quick little short story. I started a job earlier this week and I went, I haven't had, thank you. I haven't had, you're gonna laugh when I tell you the rest. Because first day I'm there, it's cool. I get to the site, I'm not liking it. I'm not feeling it. It's just having me feel like how it was when I was a manager, trapped, working way too hard for something that's not gonna have anything to do with my greater outcome. Yes, I can learn in any situation, learn in anything I do, but I hadn't been able to find a job, so it really just took the job out of fear. Pivoting in that direction, did not like how that felt, didn't really realize it. until I got home and I was exhausted. I couldn't cook. My mind was gone. I just want to lay there for a little bit because of how much like exertion. And I said when I left management that I wanted to be in a position where I had like the energy to cook after I got home, to have time for my creativity, to read, to write, to just be in it. And I just didn't feel like that. So whatever, next day I go, okay, definitely not feeling it. 2 days back to back, this is not for me. Wednesday morning, hey y'all, I found another opportunity. I did not find another opportunity. I just quit. I was like, I'm not doing this, bro. I'm not coming here and backtracking. I'm not gonna pivot away from the place that I want to be in. I know where my mental is. I know where I have to go. And that may seem crazy to other people because, I do like, hey, money got to come in, bills got to get paid. It is what it is. I trusted myself. Absolute conviction, absolute trust over so many years of building trust with myself and taking those experiences over these years and learn having that faith, that unresolving faith. And shout out to my name. Um, it was crazy, but it was a decision I had to make. I had an interview that same day that I quit. I the next morning I picked up a shift in like property management so I could just have some kind of money in. Had scheduled more interviews, would not have been able to do that if I was at that job, being on site, being so busy, wrapped up in something I don't want to be in. And then yeah, yesterday I had an interview, got hired. Boom, right on the call. Ah, what? What? Your girl got hired. Yeah, let's go. Then later, maybe a couple hours later, got a call from an interview I did 2 weeks ago. Bam, you got the job. I'm like, man, I got two jobs. Let's go. I trusted myself. I trusted my intuition. I listened. And that is the battlefield, bro. That's the battlefield. There's those moments that come. What are you gonna do? Kept singing last night. I don't know if y'all ever seen Hamilton, but I was like, I'm not throwing away my shot. Have y'all seen that musical? It's so good. It's so good. But look, I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm trusting myself. I'm going for it. And now I am pivoting towards a direction that I really want to go in. So it's all about the mind. It's all about the mind. And that was a huge battlefield for me too, because I'm like, ugh, is this place coming out of fear or is this coming out of fear? And ultimately I trusted and I went the right direction. So work towards it. Be confident enough and bold enough to know the different. No different isn't wrong. That speaks to me. That just truly speaks to me. Trusting myself, like I've been saying. He then talks about how, which I think one of y'all brought it up, but how kids be asking so many questions and parents get annoyed with them. And it's just like, man, stop, stop. And you don't think about it back then, but it's like, I was that kid at one point. Everybody's been that kid asking all these questions, and parents are just like, look, I need you to chill. They don't, I know a lot of parents don't mean to like stomp their children's curiosity down to the ground, but it can happen, when you're so curious and somebody gives you a negative response to your curiosity. It makes like a person wonder, should I even be this curious? Should I chill? Should I chill? Should I stop altogether? Um, but he said when he first started out with Mike, he asked a ton of questions. And Mike asked him, you man, or said, like, you sure do ask a lot of questions. He says that he might not be, oh, what is, but yeah, like, I guess he said he won't not, like, something like, I don't know if it was him or Kobe, whatever, one of the athletes are talking about, like, not being right with the problem. Like, didn't come up with a solution, try something and failed. A, the difference is for a winner, they're going to keep going after the solution until they found the correct one, found what works for them, found what drives results because they are about the results. Okay. So then it's all mental. And then learning how to diffuse and work the battlefield of your own mind. See, I'm confused. I don't know where that is now. Whatever. So, negative self-talk is a sabotage. Trusting yourself and knowing how to give yourself confidence will diffuse the negative self-talk. He was talking about the answer. I'm not sure what chapter I'm on, but I think I'm somewhere in there. But um, the answer is always in Kobe's mind when he had a problem on the court. The author basically asked, how many times have you sabotaged your own goals when like when your head wasn't in it, when your head wasn't in the right place, something like that. Everything you do starts with your own mind. He asked what he asked like talking about, ooh, this one got me. And if y'all, whenever y'all can hop in and let me know what chapter I'm in, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm in four or maybe I'm in three, but he basically talks about like decisions that we make and how we can sabotage our own selves with our own minds. And he was talking about like, um, how many times have you wanted to lose 10 pounds or you should have made that phone call, but you didn't know what to say? And that one hit me hard because that has happened to me so many times. Like one in particular, I just didn't know what to say to my uncle. I didn't talk to him for a couple years, a few years actually, just pure not knowing what to say, not wanting to hear, oh, you ain't called me, da da da. Man, I swear to you, y'all, he died. He died. He literally died. And I never got a chance to talk to him because I was just procrastinating. Procrastinating. One of my closest uncles on my father's side, and I can't say that about a lot of my family on my father's side, but I could say that about him, and I did not call him. It's truly like when you realize what's at stake, what's really important, things can happen at a drop of a dime. Like family can go. I could go any day. I don't know the time nor the place. It is what it is. But the fact that the situations come up is how do you handle them is such a huge difference between winners and just your old average Joe. Um, he said like even like there's moments where you had all the plans in place to make the right moves in your life and you let someone talk you out of it, bro. Like that's so crazy to me. That's also happened where I'm hyped up and somebody just says something really negative and it's where do I go from here having to regain myself? But bam, that was a failure that I learned from. Now, not throwing away my shot, period. Anyway, so focus on the results. There we go. Focus on the results, not the brand. Winning has a lot of ways to stop you if you don't have the resilience to fight back. Because there he's talking about some people will stop focusing on results to focus on their brand. It's not about the brand. The brand will come because you are the brand. Your results are the brand. Your purpose is the brand. And that all is in alignment with that passion and drive. Chapter three? Okay. Oh, my dog. Thank you. Okay, Ben. So, um, yeah, so like how well do you deal with distractions? How well? How well do you deal with them? Even he said like, what do you do with your time? He mentioned that because because all of the routines. What do you do with your time? His athletes had these very precise routines that if they were interrupted, the player, he said he helped out one of the players and like laced up his shoes. And the guy was like, bro, go give me another pair of shoes. I need to lace them up myself. They were so precise in their routine. That's how they were able to build this like strength and resilience. And that's something that's crazy to me because I feel like I'm such a free-flowing person and having such a strict routine down to the number almost feels like suffocating. However, is it possible? Is it possible for me to have like a strict routine like that? Is that necessary for me? Who knows? In this book, he talks about that that is what gets you to this elite winner circle, the status within yourself. Um, he also mentions constantly apologizing, procrastination, getting distracted is a battle within the self. Y'all, y'all, a battle within the self, two on two, like one on one in your mind against yourself, your mind against your soul. And then your body just becomes a casualty at that point. Because if your mind and your soul are like butting heads, it just drains you physically. And that's so crazy to me because he is the battles between the self are so real. A mental battle, you can talk yourself out of a lot of things, and but knowing how to think is again crazy important because if you know how to think, you've taken your failures, you've learned from them. You can now take these failures and when mental chatter goes up, when the emotion starts going crazy, there's going to be more logic than there is an emotional response. So by doing that now you're in a place where it's like, okay, let's really make things work. He said even having like creating these routines basically is having these well planned routines help you execute everything daily, and it's intentional as hell. It's intentional. You're really what is it? Repetitive. You do something over and over. Repetition, muscle memory. It's all on those lines. Like really building yourself by these daily routines, and it strengthens your your mind, it strengthens your body, it strengthens the soul. You have purpose and you're moving in it every day the same way, just building that muscle stronger and stronger and stronger. So then chapter 4, winning is the ultimate gamble on yourself. Okay. We in there. So that's the one that I have like a little bit of notes on, but the only thing that I really wanted to say about that one was how, dang, what did he say? Mm, like he was talking about Jordan and Kobe's methods towards each other and how Kobe was determined to improve himself, not replicate MJ. And he did. Kobe is that man, because I can't say that on book club. Maybe I can, you never know. So, okay, my bad, y'all. I'm chill. I'm chill. Um, but yeah, he like how Kobe worked so hard and pushed himself and analyzed the game, his game footage, and then and like Mike, he worked smarter, utilizing his natural understanding of the games. Each person, and they're both in their rights, have very similar but very different training. They had this winning not even persona, this winning soul that pushed them towards these exceptional skills that I mean changed basketball, bro. Like Lakers is up there. Shout out to LA. Lakers is up there. The Bulls are up there. Not no more, but like they were up there, Celtics up there. Like, this is such a random note, but I went to a Celtics game in Boston, and all you see is win, 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 like flag on flag on flag, covering their entire little stadium. I'm like, damn, they won a lot. Come on, who's on the team? Who's pushing harder than anybody pushing that wasn't pushing as hard as they was? Um, but gambling on yourself, there is nothing like having the most ultimate trust and faith in yourself to go so hard that the dreams, the goals, the purpose is fulfilled. And that is the greatest gift of life. That's truly living. That's being able to take the small wins, the big wins, and know that they're all a part of a greater path and a greater purpose. And I'd rather gamble on myself than have the negative self-talk and bring myself down. Because all that's gonna do is just have me being more mental, like a mental war with myself. So I choose myself. All right, thank you, y'all. Okay, bye. Wrote or Mikkel, go ahead. Mikkel or Ro, are you guys available? When are y'all available to go?
I know Mikkel mentioned earlier that he was on a call. Um, Roshi, I'm not sure if she had the book quite yet, or if she was still like trying to catch up. But we'll give it a few. One of them might answer, you know.
So, no, I haven't read the book, but thank you everybody for sharing your insight. I feel like it's just important to define what winning looks like for me, and like what it looks like for every individual, because that might be something different for everybody. And then like doing whatever is necessary to get there. Like, I liked the idea of like betting on myself, like. And I don't know, y'all were talking about who is it? Somebody was talking about believing in yourself. Like, yeah, I'm with all of that. And I don't really think I have a whole lot to say. I don't know. I don't want to speak on a book I haven't read. So yeah. All I know is we're playing basketball. You know that basketball.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Check it out now. What? I love that damn movie. Little poor orphan boy, just trying to be like Mike. Got his little shoes. Oh my God, his magic
Bow
shoes.
Wow was so cute. I'm about to watch that movie now.
Do it. Jason Marcus, have y'all seen Hamilton?
I don't think I've seen Hamilton.
You need to watch it. You need to watch
I have seen Like Mike though.
it. Period.
Remember watching that when I was growing up. Consistently, I would always watch that movie. Always.
I had it on DVD.
Okay, I was just about to say, I used to have it on VHS, and my mom is like a borderline hoarder, so she might still have it. I'm not asking if she has it, but I
Oh,
don't have a
that's so
VHS
cool.
player, so
Ro, have you seen Hamilton?
no.
It's a good one. It's a great musical. If y'all like musicals, it's a little bit of
Nope.
American propaganda, but
Why is there two of you? That's
bruh,
interesting.
that's because I'm saying like, and I'm looking. Why
Two
stop
different
looking at yourself
POVs
like
too.
that?
That's crazy.
Your camera is on.
You
You're
got
looking
both
at